Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99 back with another video. Hashtag CB99 Talks. Make sure y'all subscribe. Back with my post-fight thoughts on the Canelo Alvarez versus Danny Jacobs fight. This was the big unification fight for three of the belts: WBC, WBA, IBF belt. Canelo Alvarez, he was able to pull out the unanimous decision over Danny Jacobs. Going into this fight, I felt like it was going to be a 50-50 fight. I really didn't see a knockout in this fight. I felt like this was going to be a high-level chess match, which it was. Um, I thought it was going to be some back and forth rounds more so, because I was leaning toward Danny Jacobs in this fight. I kind of felt like, he had the strength, the height, and the reach in this fight. But once again, Canelo, he just proved me wrong. He proved it to me that he continues to graduate with each fight he he continues to graduate with each fight he has. And, he's definitely one of the top pound for pound fighters today. Um, right from the get, Canelo Alvarez, he was able to kind of control the pace of the fight just with his boxing and his power. He was able to keep keep Danny Jacobs on the back foot, and Danny Jacobs, I don't think he was really prepared for what Canelo was going to bring. I think he felt like at times Canelo was going to be a little bit more open and be a little bit more open as a puncher in this fight. But Canelo, he brought that next level, just kind of jabbing and boxing, kind of moving Danny Jacobs around just by, asserting the aggression. First couple of rounds, I say the first round, it was kind of a even round because it was just a feel out round. The second round, that's when Canelo started to pick up his boxing and, landing the harder shots. Third round, I did give the busier work to Danny Jacobs. I felt like, when he started kind of pity patting with the jab, landing a few more jabs, I thought he was going to get his rhythm going. But throughout the fight, that first half, Canelo, he was just kind of dictating the pace. He was landing the harder, more accurate punches. And Danny Jacobs, he could never really get set or control the pace in this fight. He continued to let Canelo Alvarez kind of press forward and get off his jab. But that's not to say, Danny Jacobs, he didn't land some good jabs. He was able to land a few good jabs and some couple right hands to the body. But the better body punches came from Canelo Alvarez. And I think that Danny Jacobs kind of I think he was kind of thinking of the Canelo's power a little bit too much. And he wasn't really able to let his hands go and counter, you know. And when he did try to let his hands go, Canelo would start moving his head. He started doing more head movement, just kind of slipping and sliding right on the inside. And I think that kind of started to frustrate Danny Jacobs. You could kind of see because there were times whenever Canelo would kind of move his head towards the end of the round, Danny Jacobs would kind of start swinging a little bit wild, like he was getting kind of frustrated. And I think that was a level that was a look that he really wasn't expecting in this fight. I think he was expecting Canelo to be a little bit more in the pocket, with the hands high guard, where he could just kind of split the guard with the uppercut and kind of fight him like he did it, like Canelo did in the Golovkin fights. But overall, Danny Jacobs, I just kind of felt like he didn't get a good solid jab going, and try to, dictate the pace with his own range, him being the taller, longer fighter. There were times when he would switch southpaw in this fight, but I felt like he was a lot more effective when he was in the orthodox stance because that's where he could kind of land the harder jab. But when he was in the southpaw stance throughout the fight, I think he was kind of slapping with the left hand a little bit in the jab because I think it was round 9 whenever he got back to the ropes and he kind of like fired off that overhand left and it smacked Canelo and everybody was like, oh, because it was a clean shot. I don't think it had a lot of pop on it, like enough pop to really rock Canelo because Canelo has a good chin, but it didn't rock him. He took that shot well. But I think that overall, like Danny Jacobs, his footwork when he was switching back and forth, it was almost kind of like he was getting a little bit frustrated to me. Like he didn't know kind of how to set his feet to get off the better power shots. Because if he was going to get in the southpaw stance, I felt like he should have been trying to set up the left hand a little bit more, just so he could counter over the top of Canelo's right hand. There were a few times throughout the later rounds whenever Canelo he started to slow down, and I think that's whenever Danny Jacobs kind of started getting busier. And that's the type of busy that Danny Jacobs should have got. He should have got busy like that in the first half of the fight, because if he got busy like that in the first half of the fight, kind of letting more, those eight punch combinations to go, he probably would have had a closer decision loss here, or he could have established his pace and maybe boxed his way to a decision and frustrated Canelo a little bit more. But towards the later half of the fight, Canelo kind of started getting settled in. He knew he had the fight won just by, landing the more active, aggressive, accurate shots. But overall, man, I just think that, going into this fight, I felt like Canelo knew that he was the better boxer in this one, but to me, I did think that Danny Jacobs, he was going to be able to assert his strength, being the bigger middleweight, him being in the middleweight division longer. I thought he would have tried to take a page out of the Mayweather book. Him being a bigger, stronger fighter, he could have actually capitalized what the smaller Mayweather did. Of course, this is a weight difference. Of course, that was 154. This is 160. But him being 175 pounds in this fight, I thought he would have kind of established the longer jab and kind of started tying Canelo up a little bit more, trying to smother Canelo's range and start trying to go on the inside a little bit, because Danny Jacobs' best bet in this fight would have been to fight like a dog, or fight like a dog to the end, and try to pressure Canelo and just outwork him, or try to knock Canelo out. Really spend some of the rounds trying to set up a good count, good solid counter. But I think that Danny Jacobs, he kind of, I won't say he was frustrated the whole fight. I think he was frustrated at some of the different looks that Canelo brought in this fight, just being a very, very tricky, slick boxer in this one. At the same time, he was kind of thinking of the counter shots from Canelo and the power. And I think that was just a lot on Danny Jacobs, going into this big, big fight. Definitely got to take my hat off to him. He definitely wasn't scared or anything like that. He's definitely not a scary fighter, but I guess sometimes that pressure can be pretty heavy on a fighter, especially, when everybody's pro Canelo. You got 3 belts on the line. You got Triple G ringside. Demetrius Andrade is there. So there was just so much pressure there on both fighters. But, Canelo, he's been on this level before. And again, like I said, it's a pro Canelo crowd. So Danny Jacobs, he had a lot of odds against him in this fight. But definitely got to take my hat off to him. I definitely want to see him back. I don't know if I want to see him back at 160, man. Since he gets so big, he's such a big middleweight. I kind of want to see what he can do at 168. Just because I feel like, him moving down to middleweight, it seems like it kind of drains his power a little bit. I think he'd be more effective at super middleweight. But yeah, man, overall it was a good boxing match, like a good high level chess match. It was just kind of a quiet, methodical fight. Didn't really have any explosive moments. Triple G, he went on record to say that the fight was boring and that they cheated the fans. They didn't give the fans what they want. But come on, man, he was speaking in the casual fans' mind. Triple G knows that this is the sweet science. I know he likes to go in there and knock people out, but you got to think of the caliber of opponents he was fighting too. So yeah, overall, I just think it was a really, really good fight. But it wasn't like a big barn. It wasn't like a barn burner or like an explosive unification fight. But definitely a good high level chess match in my opinion. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Who you want to see Canelo fight from here? I definitely want to see him maybe fight Demetrius Andrade or Triple G off top, or fight the winner of the Triple G Demetrius Andrade fight. And like I said, I want to see Danny Jacobs move up to 168 from here. And yeah, definitely want to see Canelo in some of the more competitive fights now in middleweight, whether it's Charlo, Andrade, Triple G. I just want to see him take on the best guys. But yeah, Canelo definitely proved that, he is one of the best boxers in the world. Looking at Andre Ward, his pound for pound list, he had Lomachenko over Canelo. Hell no. I think Canelo was still over Lomachenko. If not, he might be number one. That might be up for debate between him and Terrence Crawford. I definitely wouldn't disagree if people had Canelo over Terrence Crawford at this point. He is the three belt holder at middleweight. But yeah, man, that's all I got on this one. Again, let me know in the comment section what y'all thought of the fight and what these guys should do from here, man. And just make sure y'all subscribe. #CB99Talks. I'm out. Peace.